Hi everybody, and welcome back to this channel where we talk all about healthy relationships, intimacy, and safety for adults with intellectual or developmental disabilities. My name is Aubrey Brinkley, and I'm working on my doctorate in occupational therapy. And this is my capstone project. I can't believe we have made it to our 7th episode out of this 7-episode series. We've talked through so much together. We've learned about the history of this topic, the statistics around this topic, the safety, sexual health education. We've tailored education tactics specifically for adults with intellectual disabilities to thrive. We have talked through a ton. And today we're going to join back for our final episode to talk through an overarching look at this topic, healthy relationships. We're going to talk through building out a personal support system to ensure that we can take everything we've learned and put it out to practice. As we review today, we'll be using the acronym IDD. To finish out this video series and to bring it all together, we're going to look at how to build out supports that are specific for each individual watching. So we have 3 key points today. First, we're going to define supports and recognize when we need support. Second, we're going to talk through emotional regulation and interoception. And third, we're going to talk about sexually transmitted diseases. I think these 3 topics are important to finish out this whole episode series to make sure that we are building a robust, exciting, and engaging educational resource for all of us to thrive. So let's go ahead and get started. To start off today, we're going to define support and recognize when we need support. Support is found in a trusted adult who listens, cares, and gives us good advice. This can be a teacher, a caregiver, a counselor, someone that is in your inner circle that knows you and hears you and never asks you to do anything private or keep a secret. These are important things to define for our adults with IDD because giving them assurance that their vulnerability is not being taken advantage of is so important. So let's build out a personal storyboard that we can use to build out support for this population. This is something that you can walk through with your loved one to ensure that you're creating a good support system and giving them the tools to feel like they are independent and have the resources they need at their hands. So, I'm calling this my safety board. It's all about organizing your connections in your life so you feel safe as you explore. There's 6 different questions that we're going to go through today, and these prompt you to fill out the blank. Filling out the blank gives you an actual understanding of who do I call and who is my support system. You can also go a step further and write down their phone number, their email, or some way to actually get in touch with them. So when you're out and about, you have this on deck for you when you need it. When I'm in an emergency, who do I call? Think through this with your loved one, fill it out, and make sure they know this is a good person to call. Who knows my schedule? It's good to have people that know your schedule so then you know you're safe. If you're not where you usually are, it's a good point to check in. So these people are great support system. When I'm sad, who do I call? This makes sure that someone on our safety board is someone we feel comfortable being vulnerable with and we're able to share safely. When I'm scared, who do I call? Whose phone number do I have memorized? I love this one. And if you don't have someone's number memorized, make sure we get this on the goal list. Who knows me best? This is a great question because the people that know us best can often know when something's off. and they can be a great support to make sure that we are feeling safe and confident out there. I love the storyboard because we can really talk about the specifics of who do we actually call. So in that moment where we really need somebody, it's not taking too much effort to understand. We just have this resource already ready for us. I love it because it gives you confidence that you are giving skills and actual support when needed. Next, we're going to talk about emotional regulation and interoception. We've talked about these topics a few times throughout the video series, and I think it's a really important way to finish out our series together because the way we feel is the way we connect. We've talked about this before, and this is such an important way for us to make sure that we are feeling good and safe. Our body changes to give us different signals. The more we can hone in on how our body is feeling, the better we can understand how we're interacting with the world around us. We have safety mechanisms built into our bodies. So the more we listen to them, the more we can be independent and confident as we approach different experiences. So what is emotional regulation? Emotional regulation is when we understand our conscious things we know that are going on and our unconscious things that we're not aware of, our body, our heartbeat, things that we can start tuning into. We listen to these conscious and unconscious reactions and respond to them appropriately. So if our body is going a little fast, we can understand maybe I'm not feeling super comfortable. Should I remove myself from this situation to create safety? Or am I okay? I'm just nervous and I need to help calm my body so I can show up in a way that I feel comfortable. Interoception is kind of like those unconscious reactions, things that we don't know are happening unless we're really listening to our bodies. Interoception is understanding the visceral body reactions as we go through life. So we've talked about this before, our heartbeat, our breathing, and our movement. Checking in with our heartbeat, our breathing, and our movement as we go through different experiences can really help us understand how to have emotional regulation and interoception to maintain safety and security. I'm gonna bring back another sequence strip. So sequence strips are talked about in video 3. Sequence strip is a super helpful tool to break down these big, complex situations into bite-sized pieces. I created a sequence strip on emotional regulation in video 4, so we're gonna pull it back out today to review it together. So this sequence strip talks through how to have that positive emotional regulation that we've been talking about. Let's go through the steps. You interact with someone new. How does your heart feel? Is your heart beating fast? Is your heart beating slow? Or is it beating just right? Sometimes we might be going a little fast, but that might not mean that we're unsafe. That might just mean we're nervous. And if that's the case, stay in the moment and do what you need to make yourself feel comfortable and confident to keep engaging in that connection. How's your breathing feeling? Too fast? Too slow? Just right? And how does your body feel? How are you moving? Are you jittery and too fast? Are you really sleepy and too slow? Or are you just right? How do you want to respond? After taking in all that information and understanding the interoception, the self-regulation pieces of ourself, we can really figure out how do we want to respond. Yes, sometimes when we meet new people or we're in new experiences, our heart rate and our breathing and our movement might be a little fast. That's okay. Sometimes fast doesn't mean bad. It's just telling us something. We're moving fast. Are we feeling safe? Yes. Do we want to stay in this environment? Yes. Let's bring ourselves to a point of regulation where we can show up in a way that we want. Let's talk through 3 emotional regulation tactics. First is my favorite, breathing. Deep breathing is so important and so good for our body when we're feeling a little out of control. It can get us to a just right state of regulation where we can show up better. So let's use our sequence strip as an example. We're gonna take deep breaths and outline the sequence strip. Sounds a little silly, but try it with me. You ready? Let's take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. Deep breath out. Hold your breath. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Taking this moment to take deep breaths is really helpful and helps our body be in control. It's also really awesome that you can really outline anything around you. And that kind of brings me to my next emotional regulation skill, which is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 emotional regulation skill. This one's really awesome because it brings in our different senses so we are more grounded and in control of our body. Let's talk through it. 5, we can see 5 different things in the room. 4, think about 4 different things you can feel. 3, think about 3 different things you can hear. 2, think about 2 things you can smell. And 1, think about 1 thing you can taste. This grounding technique is super awesome, super quick way for you to kind of get your body regulated and understanding where are you and how to feel comfortable and in control. And the final regulation that we're gonna talk through is muscle relaxation. I really like this one because it's super easy and simple and doesn't take a lot of thinking. Muscle relaxation looks like clenching, hold, release. Clenching, hold, release. You can do it with your bottom, you can do it with your feet, you can press down on your knees and release. This is a really good way just to get yourself grounded and back into your body. So that was a ton about emotional regulation, but these skills are so important to make sure that we are feeling confident and in control of ourselves as we embrace the world around us. I want us to feel like we have the skills to know ourselves and to react and respond in a way that we want to, so we can build a life with fullness. Let's talk about our last subject, sexually transmitted diseases. This is an important topic to talk about to make sure that we have full knowledge about what intimacy looks like and what safety looks like. So let's jump on in. To get a more in-depth background knowledge on sexual health education in general, feel free to go watch episode 2. We dive all into the nuances of sexual health education and we talk through different pubertal changes that we all go through. Let's talk through options that you have as you may pursue intimacy. And let's talk through different experiences that you can have to make sure that you are being safe and taken care of throughout your life. So, what are sexually transmitted diseases? Sexually transmitted diseases, or STDs, are diseases that can be transferred when interacting in a sexual way. We talked about the 3 main ways to experience sexual behavior, which are anal, oral, and vaginal sex. When you share these moments with partners, you need to make sure that you are being safe. Let's talk through some of those ways. Some STDs can occur through skin-to-skin contact. So, using a condom on a penis when you are having sex, or a dental dam to make sure that you are protecting your body, are great ways to ensure safety. Condoms, dental dams, and other forms of protection do not promise full safety and protection, but they should always be used to decrease the rate of STD. When teaching these subjects to adults with IDD, I would use sequence strips like the emotional regulation piece that we went over recently. And using pictures and anatomically correct verbiage is always, always important. Give them these words and these tools to have respect and to have safety in their life. condoms, birth control, pregnancy, sexual predators, STDs, sexual abuse. These are big topics that should be covered by caregivers for adults with IDD. We are involved in the world, and statistics point to the fact that these experiences come knocking at your door whether you think they are or not. So let's build out safety, let's build out supports to make sure that all individuals are thriving and feeling respected. I can't believe we've made it to our final episode of this 7-episode video series. It has been such an honor getting to talk through these things with you guys, and I really hope they built out more support and comfortability when focusing on these adult developmental stages. I hope that these resources give you the tools and give you the confidence to really embark on building out a fullness of life and increased success for our adults with IDD. I'm going to continue building out resources for you guys, so send me an email and I will add you to my email thread. Can't wait to see you soon as we embark on our next journey to build out more support, more success, and fullness of life for all individuals. Talk soon.